Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Next Goal Wins. Today we're talking the death of the one club man. So like I said, today we're talking about how people don't really play for one club anymore. This just comes off the back of all the Raheem Sterling transfers, rejecting his contract at Liverpool and things like that. I mean, people now retiring who've played for a club all their life. I mean, Xavi has left Barcelona to play in Dubai. Casillas has left Real Madrid to play for Porto. Lampard's left Chelsea obviously last season for New York City / Man City. Gerrard's left Liverpool for LA Galaxy. Pirlo has left Juventus, but he hadn't been a one-club man, but a servant to Italian football. So my point is, will we ever see a one-club man again? I mean, there were days when if you played for one club, it was brilliant. I mean, your Gary Nevilles, club legends, I mean, people who forged themselves into club history. And Casillas really is the last of that elite one-club man. I mean, you still got Buffon left at Juventus, who obviously joined from Parma about 15 years ago now, but Casillas was massive for Real Madrid because he encompassed all the Real Madrid were. I mean, it's like Xavi was at Barcelona. He was Real Madrid as Xavi was Barcelona. They represented what the club was about on all fronts, on domestic fronts, on commercial fronts, on everything. It was what the club was about, and it was an iconic figure for the club to be around. I mean, it was like when Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United, the club identity seemed to slip because they didn't have that figurehead that they'd been used to for 25 years. So my point is, will players stay at a club anymore? In this day of drastic transfer fees and money offered to people, is there any loyalty within football anymore? I mean, for me, my dream would be to play for the team I support, and I'd reject other contracts to play for that team because of how much it would mean to me. And I think a lot of football fans would do the same. Yes, obviously Raheem Sterling has no obligation to Liverpool. He wasn't a Liverpool fan as a kid. He never supported Liverpool. He just got their chance there and has joined Man City, another team he doesn't support. But my point is, some players who are coming through the youth team, I mean, will they want to play for a team that has given them a chance and has committed to him, or would they rather go to the team that they're unsure about? I mean, Patrick Roberts today in the paper has been linked away from Fulham. Will he stay at Fulham, a club that he supported as a child and brought him up, or will he move away? I mean, Frank Lampard was a West Ham fan as a kid and he moved away from West Ham, and turned into a Chelsea fan. I mean, John Terry's still a one-club man at Chelsea, but I can't see it happening now where players stay at clubs for a long amount of time. I think we really have seen the death of it. I mean, people like Petr Cech leaving now to Arsenal, which no one would have thought would happen a few years ago. And really, there's not, if you look at the longest-serving managers, which they always bring up, which obviously is very low on terms served, apart from Wenger, and it's only a few years for the next longest-serving manager, but it must be the same for footballers in clubs. I can't think of too many footballers now who are of like the new generation, 25, 26, who stay at clubs for too long. I mean, you've got Wayne Rooney, obviously, who's been at Manchester United for a long time, from Everton. You've got people like Joe Hart, who's been there for a while, but there's a lot of players who just don't stay at the clubs anymore and don't show any loyalty to a club or choose to stay at the club because there's bigger money from other clubs. And this is just my point, mate. Will the big clubs just begin to and keep stockpiling players like Chelsea do and take away from the players' kind of growth? I mean, look at Marco van Ginkel. He's at Stoke on loan next season. Chelsea signed him, wrapped him up very young, and he hasn't really been the player since. Lukaku, arguably, Chelsea signed him and he hasn't really been the player since. Yes, he scored goals for West Brom and for Everton. Last season was poor for Everton, but people expected loads more from Lukaku. They expected him to be the next Drogba, the next massive thing. I'm just saying there could be too much on these players. I mean, when they join the smaller teams or the mid-table teams, then surely that's better for the growth of their career. So I just don't think there'll be one club men anymore in the future of football. I can see it completely dying out and transfer fees being every few seasons like it is managers. I mean, 4 or 5 years I think soon will be a long term at a club. Anyway, to end on that worrying news, a bit of a brighter spark for everyone is that hopefully the one club man will stay, because you have got players who have committed their futures to a club. I mean, Fabian Delph has committed himself to Aston Villa despite Manchester City's interest, which is good to show that someone doesn't really care about the team or the money. They'd rather play for the team that they love. Anyway, please like the video, leave your comments below, subscribe to me, and I'll see you in the next one.